Alright guys, Paul here. I got a 2001 E430 4MATIC here. I'm hard of hearing. I wear a hearing aid and it's really screwed me up with diagnosing these cars. I even got on here with a stethoscope and I could have sworn it was my idler pulley making the noise. So I ordered a new idler. I still had bearing noise. The idler was contributing. So next I threw in an alternator. And I still got the noise. It turns out it's the water pump. If it's not the water pump, I'm gonna kill myself. But I'm not really that upset about it. This vehicle has 130,000 miles on it. Some people say that mileage doesn't matter. 130,000 miles of that engine running, there's wear there, and I would expect that that wasn't too far from failing anyway. So I'm glad that's in there. I don't like to break down and get stuck on the road. So it's not that big of a loss to me to throw a new alternator in there. While I have the other one, I bought it without having to pay a core fee. So I'm going to rebuild the other alternator. So I'll have a rebuilt alternator should this one ever go. Today I'm doing the water pump, like I said. I'm going to show you how to do that. Before you do the water pump, first you have to remove the fan. You can go on eBay or Amazon and look up fan removal tool. For Mercedes, you're going to get a retainer wrench and a slim 36 millimeter wrench. Let me go get them and show them to you. These are the tools you're going to need. This is a retainer wrench. It goes over the bolts on the water pump pulley. Then this wrench is slim. You're going to need the 36 millimeter end. I actually needed to use two of these to get mine off. That fan was frozen on there and it started to round out with just the one wrench. So I actually had to hammer the second wrench in and then whack it with a hammer to get it off. I've since put a bunch of never sees on there so it won't freeze up on me again. You're gonna have to remove these two clips to get the fan shroud out. Be careful taking these out because you can crack the fan shroud. Don't ask me how I know. I was rushing and I screwed up. I cracked mine. I epoxied it with JB Wells. Hopefully that'll hold. You're gonna want to get this engine cover out of the way. This just pops off. Take note, there are two types of water pumps for this car. There is a water pump that has a third line in it that comes out right here. You see right down there? That's another port that's sealed. There's a port on some of them for a hose. I think it goes to something with the supercharger or oil cooler or something. I wanted to get Hella Pajid brand water pump, so I did buy that, and that had the extra port. What I did is I bought a Dorman bypass plug kit and just put a hose clamp on there. Do I have the water pump out here? Yes. Let me show you this. You see right here, I have the extra port. So I just put that plug cap on there with a hose clamp. That'll hold it fine. This looked like a good quality pump. That's why I wanted this. I didn't want to throw some cheap aftermarket crap in here. So hopefully I will have good luck and a long life on this pump. One thing you're going to have to be careful of when you're removing this pump. Right at the top of the water pump, I believe it's on here. I think that somebody said there's a water sensor. Oh, maybe it's not on this one. Yeah, it is. Yeah, if you look right here, up behind that idler pulley right here, I think that's the water temperature sensor. You're going to have to be careful because when you're removing the pump, this little piece goes behind that water temperature sensor. So you're going to have to rotate that pump to the left a little bit and get it out, and do the same, then rotate it right after you get it on, or else you're going to break that water temperature sensor. Okay, guys? Usually what I would do is jack the car up. There's a drain, I believe, on the passenger side to bleed the radiator out and crack the reserve tank. When you do that, so there's not a vacuum, it'll drain quicker for you. I had recently done coolant on here and I really don't want to lose it all. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to crack the water pump and let it drain and thoroughly hose up my area. But be careful if you're doing this. You don't want to leave this stuff around dogs or animals. It's sweet. They will drink it and get sick or die. So I usually don't do this. I'm environmentally conscious, but I want to lose as little of the coolant as possible. So I hope there's not too many comments and you guys can forgive my behavior. All right. Oh, the tools you're going to need. You're going to need a T50 for the idler pulley. The fan has to come out to get that out. That's a very long bolt. You're going to need 10 millimeter socket, regular socket, 6-sided socket for the pulley bolts. Then you are going to need, I believe it's an E10 and an E12. Let me look. Yeah, E10, E12, that reverse torques for the water pump bolts. While I'm on this, I may as well give you the torque specs. Let me get them. Beware, there is a guy that did a video on doing the water pump. I think he had a E200 and something. He gave the torque specs in foot-pounds. These are not in foot-pounds. They're usually in Newton meters. I have the Mercedes program, and I got my torque specs from that program. So the 8 Newton meter bolts are 71.8 inch-pounds or 16 Newton meters. Oh, no, I'm sorry. 8 Newton meters, 71.8 inch-pounds for the smaller bolts. It's 16 Newton meters, that's 141 inch-pounds for the larger water pump bolts. For the pulley bolts, the 10 millimeter bolts, they are 9 Newton meters or 79.6 inch-pounds. And the main alternator bolt, you're going to have to remove one of them. That's 33 foot-pounds or 45 Newton meters, which equals 398 inch-pounds. So that'll be 33 foot-pounds if you're doing it with a foot-pound wrench, or 398 inch-pounds. I would assume you would do that with a foot-pound wrench. That's what I'll probably do. All right, those are the specs for that guy. So guys, there they are right there. In case you want to take a quick shot of that. And I guess it's time to start taking this apart. All right, first thing you're going to want to do is get your fan out and your fan shroud. After you do that, do not remove your serpentine belt first. While that belt is on, you want to have that there to help retain the water pump pulley while you crack these bolts loose first. Just break them loose. Don't take them out, just crack them free. And of course, one of them's got to give me a hard time. There it goes. I thought it was going to snap on me. Don't go crazy, tighten them back up. They're small bolts. I have an AC Delco power ratchet that I love, 3/8 drive power ratchet. I think there's between 17 and 19 bolts that have to be removed here. These bolts are all various sizes, between the two different sizes and depths. So what I did is I made a sketch of my water pump, and I took a little ice pick and punched out all the bolt holes and then enlarged them a little bit. So what I'll do to just save myself aggravation and confusion and having things get complicated, as I remove the bolts, I'll just place them where they need to go and replace them accordingly. When you're torquing this down, you're going to do a crisscross on the larger bolts first, then go around crisscrossing, doing the smaller bolts. I'll probably semi-torque them just to pull the pump in all the way around, and then go around a second pass and bring them up to torque spec. Oh, another thing, take note of your direction on your serpentine belt. If you have not replaced your belt, it's a good time to change it. This is a new serpentine belt, so I will be using this again. They recommend putting them on the way they came off. If you are reusing the belt, don't switch its rotational direction. I don't think there's a need to pull it off of every pulley. You can just get it off of the idler and the water pump and alternator and leave the rest somewhat hooked up unless you're changing the belt. But make yourself a little diagram of the belt so you don't get screwed up with that. All right, this does not have to be removed. I believe I can just take those two bolts out and that bracket will move out of the way. Maybe I'll have to take an upper one off. No, I don't. Just those two bolts that are on that bracket. Next thing I'm going to remove is the serpentine belt. On this one, this is the old style. There's an E10 little nipple on there. Be kind of gentle with that. They've been known to break and fail, so don't go crazy when you're turning counterclockwise to relieve the tension on that belt tensioner. Okay? You remember the way this goes, right?
It goes
over the water pump.
Over the water pump, around.
Yes, I know. Over the water pump. You have to take note on the way this idler pulley goes on. I think the pulley that's closer to the block is a little thicker, that side of the pulley. So make sure you remove that pulley and pay attention to which way it goes back on there. I don't think it would perfectly line up if you put it in the other way. If you have your original equipment pulley on there, there's going to be a little dust cover you can get off with either a small screwdriver or a pick tool. Actually, you know what? I don't think I have the torque spec for this one. I'm sorry. I'm going to do mine by feel. I've done this a lot of times and got away with it, thank God. I probably shouldn't burn rags on myself, but I haven't had things loosen up, strip out, or come loose on me. And now the water pump pulley will come off. I cannot drop any of these bolts, or else I'll have to jack the car up and remove the whole belly pan. I do not want that to happen, you know? When I put this back together, I am going to use medium strength blue Loctite on the water pump pulley bolts. Do not put red Loctite on these. You will regret it. Frank knew some idiot that red Loctited their water pump in. That didn't work out too well because it had to be replaced.
And he ruined his engine.
What happened?
And he ruined his engine.
Ruined his engine? The hose clamps that are on here are 7mm or a flathead screwdriver. I prefer to use a socket. I have a pick tool. You might want to have one of these for getting that hose off. Sometimes they're a bitch to get off. You can get under there a little bit and try to help get it off going around. I actually should have replaced my hoses on here. They don't look too bad. They're a little soft. Not that bad. They don't look dried out or anything. Yeah, but they're not bubbling or anything. They're soft anyway now. Softer than they used to be. I don't know if you guys want me to bore you to death with removing all these bolts, but I'm just cracking them all loose with the hand ratchet.
And I'll come in with my power ratchet and zip them out. This would be a good time to change your thermostat if you would want to put a thermostat in. 2 more bolts. Extension would help on here.
That's not bad for $20, right?
$20 mirror? No.
Somebody smashed his mirror and stabbed his tire, but he had no problem with anybody. I wonder if they mistaked his car for somebody else's or
They
something.
did.
I told the people on YouTube what they did to your car.
Yeah.
Just went to Harbor Freight or Advanced Auto and somebody did that to his
I
car.
went to Harbor Freight and Advanced Auto.
That sucks.
Okay.
Oh my God, I'm bleeding.
You alright?
Yeah. I hit the pulley, cut myself. Don't slip and hit the pulley. You bleed.
One more bolts I got down here.
Those are hidden away, huh? Those are going to be fun to get back in. I got another one on this side too. Let me look at the other pump. Yep. Top side. Larger one.
All right, I'm not going to bore you guys with taking all of these bolts out. I'm going to stick them in the box in the places that I marked and then work that other pump out. I got all these bolts out. I was having a hard time. Right underneath here, there is another bolt. That's the bolt that I missed. I was moving it and everything, rotating it. Be careful around that hot water sensor, that water temperature sensor. You got to rotate it. You might have to slide your alternator over to the left and then rotate it to the left, so that little tab right here, this small tab goes around that water sensor. There's a retaining clip on that sensor. I did back it out, but I had a hard time getting that sensor out. I don't want to break it, so I'm going to try to put that retainer clip back in and then get this water pump out of here. Mine didn't come with the O-ring. Mine came with the block with the flat washer. What I did is I took a little silicone, couple of small dabs on the gasket, put it on the block, then maneuvered my water pump in, lined a couple of bolts up on the gasket and seated it. I don't like going around with all that silicone. I don't believe it's necessary. The gasket should seal it if it's cleaned properly. Now I'm going to go around and start tightening up my E12 bolts first, and then I'm going to start hitting the E10s, all right, to torque. I'll tell you the torque again on them. What the hell is that? The E10s are 71.8 inch-pounds. The E12s are 141 inch-pounds. The pulley bolts are 79.6 inch-pounds, and the alternator is 33 foot-pounds. Okay, I guess that's about it, guys. I'm not going to make you watch a video that's pretty self-explanatory. I'm not going to waste your time with that. Frank came by to give me a hand today because he's about had it with the American cars. He's sick of the American cars too. They're making a bunch of junk. So he's probably going to get himself, I hope he gets an E-Class, either an E or a C-Class Mercedes. So they're good cars. He likes, from giving me a hand, he likes the way that things are put together. It seems to make sense, right?
Yes.
Better? They're not that horrible of a car. Everybody's, oh, European cars. These mechanics are all freaked out. European cars. Cars are cars, man. You know, I think these are put together more logically. This water pump was not horrible to do. Yes, it was a lot of bolts, but it was not that big of a deal. It wasn't that bad of a job to do. You know, so don't go paying a shop hundreds of dollars, getting ripped off. They'll give you the cheapest aftermarket crap water pump they can get and throw it in there. You're better off buying the parts yourself. Do the job yourself. Start taking good care of your own cars, you know? At least you'll know what's done. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Please support the channel and subscribe. It's our channel. I'm hoping to bring you some more useful videos. Not too soon, though. I want a break. I don't want to keep working on these goddamn cars. Damn cars, excuse me. God's got nothing to do with it. Alright guys, thank you again. Take care. And remember, take good care of your cars. They'll take good care of you. Bye-bye. Feel free to comment, complain, call me an idiot, whatever you want to do. I'm going to get ready to torque these up now. Bye-bye.